Today I'm going to be doing a brake fluid flush on my A3. I've got this Sealy pressure bleeder, a Sealy drain bottle and some DOT4 fluid. I've also got an 11mm spanner for the bleed point and a syringe for getting the old fluid out of the reservoir. This car's almost 3 years old and it's never been done before, and I hear the schedule is it should be every 2 years. So it's probably about time that it was done. I've not done it before, but what I've heard people say is that you should always start from the furthest point from the master cylinder. And in this car's case, the master cylinder is over underneath the reservoir here. So I'll be starting at the back left, then the back right, front left, and then front right. So first thing I'm going to do is get the old fluid out of the reservoir. This is the reservoir here, and I've put a little towel around the area just to protect it from the DOT4 fluid. It can be quite corrosive apparently. So I'm just going to take the lid off. And inside is a little filter, and the first time I tried to get this out I really had to grapple with it. That's why it's got a few little marks on it, but let's see how it comes out this time. Yeah, still quite tricky. There's sort of 4 ears on it, I suppose you would call them. Oh, that's it. Phew, okay. So that's that out. So just show you the state of the fluid, and it looks quite dark. So I'll just start syringing it out. I've got this old straw from an old brake bleed pack from a mountain bike, so I'll just pop that on, see if I can get down any further. Okay, I think that's my lot, but I managed to get a fair bit out there. Put this back on while I do some other bits and pieces. I'm going to clean around the area as well. I'm at the back wheel, and this is the bleed point here. So I'm just going to take off the little rubber boot. Keep that safe. I've got this Sealy drain bottle here. It's maybe a little bit over the top for what's needed for this job, but it looks quite good. It's got measurements, liquid measurements there, and it's got a little nipple with a hole in the top to let the air out. It's got this rubber boot that goes over the bleed point, so I'll just pop that on there now. Right, that should be that ready to go. As I said, I've got this Sealy pressure bleeder, and I'd read online a few reviews saying that they couldn't get the bottle to pressure up, and I had the same issue when I first got it, but I just found I had to use this key just to really tighten up that connector, and after I did that it was solid. So I'm just going to put the brake fluid in now. So that's the brake fluid in now, and I'm just going to pressure it up just to make sure that it does hold pressure. And it does say on the bottle max 28 psi. So I'm probably only going to do about 15 psi on that. And that's up to about 8 psi at the moment, and it is holding pressure. So I'm just going to let that pressure out of there. Now what I want to do is fill up the reservoir with the new fluid. So I'm just going to, there shouldn't be any pressure in the line, but just in case there is. And then I'm just going to pump some through. That's going in there nicely. I don't want to go too quickly, so I don't want to get to the max level and then it's overflowing. Right, so that's it, almost full there. So I'm going to put the connector on. Hopefully that's going to stay there. Hopefully by doing that as well, it should have purged all the air from the line. So I've done that up quite tight. What I'm going to do now is just give it a minute to settle, make sure all the air comes out of the fluid to the top of the reservoir. Right, so I've left that a minute just to let the air go out of the fluid. So I'm going to pump this up now to about 15 psi. So that's about 10. Make sure it's holding. Yep, it's holding pressure. Right, that's about 12 psi. I think that should be okay. I see there's a few air bubbles there. So I think I've messed up a bit there. I've got some air in the line there, and I think that's because I tipped it on its side to look at the pressure gauge. So I think I might have to, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to take the pressure out of the line. So that's pushed the air back through. So I'm hoping that's gone back into the bottle. So I'll pressure it up again, and if it does come back, I'll have to take the pressure off again and bleed the air out of the hose. So I might have been lucky, but I'll remember not to tip it on its side again. Let's see how we go. So far, those bubbles aren't coming back. So that's about 12 psi on the gauge there. And I want to leave it sitting a minute. Luckily for me, those air bubbles didn't come back through. And I just want to make sure as well that there's no leaking fluid. So I guess as long as the gauge stays steady, then we should be good to go. So that's me at the back of the car now, and I've got about 1 litre of fluid to work with, and obviously the lines at the back are going to take a bit more fluid. So I thought if I just push through 200 ml at the back ones, and then I'll see how much we've got left when I get to the front, but I was probably going to do 150 each at the front. So I'll just open the bleed point now with my 11 ml spanner. Ooh. I'm not sure how much I have to turn it. There's none coming out yet. Oh, there's some coming out now. The fluid actually looks quite clean. It's coming out quite slow, and I don't know if that's just because I haven't opened it up very far. Right, so I've opened it up a bit more there, and it is... What I'm going to do is go to the front. Just want to go to the front and just make sure. I wasn't sure how far it would go down. So I've got a little bit out there, and it's still above 10 psi. So I'm back here now and just waiting for it to fill up to 200 ml. So it is coming through, it's just slowly. There is a little bit of fluid dripping down there. I'm not sure whether it's coming out of the back of the bleed point or that rubber connector's maybe letting some out. Right, it's not quite 200, but I'm losing quite a lot of fluid there, so I'm going to close that off. So yeah, unfortunately, there has been quite a lot of fluid dripping down, and I don't know whether it's this connector here. So I'm going to take it off, clean it all out, and just make sure that there's none, that the flow's stopped. I'm at the back right wheel now, and I've put this on here, and this time I've got 2 cloths because last time it dripped down onto the driveway. So if this does leak again, I'm tempted just to cut it off and then put that straight on. But we'll see how we go with it anyway. So I have pressured up the bottle at the front. So yep, there's the fluid there. And again, it looks quite clean. The car's only done about 19,000 miles. So I don't know if that's to be expected, even though the car is almost 3 years old. But that actually, I can't see any leakage there. Anyway, I'm just going to drain 200 ml out of this one again and get started on the next one. So just to say, as the bottle is getting a bit emptier, I've tipped it sort of more over to the hose goes into the bottom there, I'm at the last one now, at the front right. I've already done the front left. And just to say, on this car at the front, it's a 10mm spanner that's needed. One thing about this one as well is it didn't have a little rubber boot on, so I hope it's not kind of seized. Oh, yeah. So no, it's fine. There is oil going through there now. Just to say as well that after the first time on that back left wheel, there was quite a lot of leakage, but all the other three have not leaked. So maybe I just had that sat on wrongly, but in any case, I'll always just put the cloth underneath just to make sure. So that's the last one finished. Just give it a quick clean. And I'll need to get one of those little rubber boots to put over this one. So I'll just get the last wheel back on. I've put the fluid back to a similar level as to what it was before I started. And I'll just put this thing back in as well. It wasn't very dirty, but I did give it just a quick clean with the brake cleaner. And then lid back on. There's not much difference in the fluid. This is the old stuff and this is the new. They both look the same sort of cleanliness, and I haven't got anything to test the water content. So that's the job done, and I did go out in the car just to check the brakes. When I initially turned on the engine, I didn't really notice much difference the first time I tried the brake pedal, but when I was out and about in the car, I did feel like the brakes were more sensitive. I don't know whether that's just my imagination, but they seem to work well, so that's at least hopefully proof that the job went okay. As far as the Sealy bottle is concerned, it was good. I have got nothing to compare it against, but it did the job okay. Yeah, it was a fairly straightforward procedure, and I'll definitely be doing that again when the time comes. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you very much for watching.